What's up, y'all? It's your boy Doobiedukesims back at it again with the white vans. Here at YouTube, different angle, different camera angle, and I was informed that this is where Keith Richards sat in this very seat, and that's rad. And Snoop Dogg also may have sat in this seat as well. So the vibes is aligned. Word. All right. So today we're going to talk about the news and music news. I'm gonna go to the phone and talk about news and music news. The other thing I'm thinking about is just maybe just doing a podcast where I just talk shit, you know what I'm saying, and just talk whatever and just put it out as one video versus put it out as like many videos chopped up. So that's a vibe and a vision. One thing I wanted to talk about today was I've been talking with homies about this, and I feel like it's a good topical thing. Like when something comes in my head, and I'm like, yo, like this a vibe, this a vision. Like it's good to state it, or when it comes for you as well. Like it's good to state it and like say what you feel about it while it's fresh. You know what I'm saying? So then it becomes a statement. Same thing with writing songs. It's like you got the inspiration, record it while it's fresh. You know what I mean? Record it while it's super new, because that's gonna be the purest. The purest of it. So this is my vision on talking to the homies about the grind versus the hustle. And the grind versus the hustle is basically, we're talking about like the grind being like, grind versus hustle is just words, right? Grind, hustle, these are just words, but the grind being your job, you know what I'm saying? The steady money, something is going to be there, you know what I mean? That's your job, your 9 to 5, job. And so some people, they're not loving the 9 to 5 job. It's not speaking for them, their essence, right? And so they, of course, people want to do what makes them joyful. Sometimes this is that, sometimes it's not. Okay, anyway, so the grind versus the hustle being like you make things happen yourself, just with your own visions of like you're making things happen, and you're making money happen from that, right? So when you hustle, it's like you don't have a 9 to 5, or it's just a vision. A hustle it really has nothing to do with not having a 9 to 5 or having a 9 to 5. A hustle, being like a hustler, somebody on a hustle, is like you're always looking for the opportunities. You're about it all the time. You know what I mean? And so the more that you hustle, the more you can make money. The more that you will make money from hustling, right? And the more that you grind, the 9 to 5 grind, the more money you'll make from the grind. You know what I'm saying? And the grind versus the hustle is like, this is like, it's like in the air. It's like space. You know what I'm saying? Like it's magic. You know what I mean? And then this is like concrete. It's all the time. You know what I'm saying? So that already right there is for a lot of people, like that's too dangerous, or that's not security. You know what I'm saying? That's not secure. This is more secure. The grind is more secure than the hustle, right? But a lot of people, they don't want to do the grind. They're down with the hustle. Like they're willing to put in the work. You know what I'm saying? Bobby Hundreds is a dope one. Complex did a piece on Bobby Hundreds, talking about he had the 9 to 5, and then when he got home, he worked from 5 to 2 on his thing, right? That's the hustle. He created his own thing because he spent the time doing the thing. And the more that you hustle, the more that you create your own thing, is the more that your own thing will be able to support you financially. Do you know what I'm saying? And so that's the goal for a lot of people. And that's the goal in this vision that we're talking about. The way that I was talking about it with my homies, how it came was like the grind versus the hustle, right? It's something that we can understand, the grind versus the hustle. And the more time you spend hustling, it's the less time you need to grind. The more time you spend grinding, it's the less time you have for the hustle. Do you know what I'm saying? The more you grind, you got to create the time for the hustle. A lot of people is grinding, when they get home, like homie was talking to me yesterday about it. When they get home, it's like they're tired. And Gary Vee was talking about it too, about like the chick or the people that go home and watch Friends before they go to sleep, because they need to just unwind that energy and get back in touch with their center. I was also watching the Joaquin Phoenix Oscar speech, and it was like he was saying such good positive things, you know what I'm saying, about compassion and love. You know what I'm saying? It's so important, you know what I'm saying? So like anything you do in life, whatever it is that you want to do, if you do it from a place of like goodness, like Mr. Rogers would be happy. He would be like proud of you, right? Mr. Rogers was like, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I hope that you are proud of you too. Like Mr. Rogers would be proud. Dope. So, and none of this really matters. None of this matters. This is just a conversation. This is just a perspective. And this time for right now, talking to people that vibe with this energy. This is not for everybody. Some people's gonna tune this out like, oh no, I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Like this is not my vibe. And other people be like, yo, I was just talking to my homie about that. Like that's crazy. We're in the same wave. This is for this wave right now, this frequency and this energy right now. Boom. This was the grind versus a hustle. Peace. All right, what we're going to do now is I'm going to read stories from the news. I don't know if I should read stories from the news, to be honest. Is that something that I should do? I clicked the Safari button, and the Safari button is locked. Oh, it just popped up. Shoot. All right, news. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. We keep it positive. I feel like the more we talk about things, the more it's like good things, will come from it. All right, here we go. News. Let's get it. I just Googled news. I don't know if you can see it. Just Googled news, and here's what it is. NBC News. Man cleaning gun fatally shoots best friend in apparent accident. A man playing a video game in a mobile home in the Oklahoma City suburb of Midwest City was fatally shot Sunday, apparently in an accident by his best friend who was cleaning a gun. Joshua Allen, 21, died from a single shot to the chest Sunday morning. This is unfortunate. His brother was messing with a gun and accidentally went off and struck his best friend. This is unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? And when you play with guns, like if I have a basketball, right? The only thing that's gonna happen in this house or in this space, right, is that I might bug out with this basketball, and this basketball might smash these really expensive microphones, or you know what I'm saying? Like there's no hoop here, and there's no game I could play unless I invented a game. So the basketball doesn't really make sense in this place, but it's not gonna hurt anybody, other than if I went insane and like threw it at everything, and then it would just be damaged, but nobody would get hurt. Because even if there was a person in here and I threw the basketball at the person, it'd be like, dude, like why did you just throw that basketball at me? You know what I'm saying? But when you're playing with guns are not like basketballs. There's only a certain amount of things that are gonna happen in that situation. The gun's not gonna make you eggs. The gun is not gonna clean your room. The gun is not gonna play catch with you. The gun is not gonna take you on outings. The gun is not gonna. The gun is not Siri. You can't talk to the gun and say, "Yo, gun, play the best of Brothers Johnson." The gun is not gonna do any of those things for you. The only thing that gun is gonna do, if you put bullets in it, is fire bullets. That's all guns do, is fire bullets. So, what is the end result of firing bullets, right? The same as we talked about, what's the end result of me bugging out with a basketball? The end result of firing bullets is destruction. The bullets never fix anything. The bullets never bring anything together, right? So that's really the essence of the whole thing. It's like, let's not be playing with guns. Let's not be playing with guns. Guns is not the wave. You know what I'm saying? Guns is not the wave. And I can't say what the wave is for you. Whoever's listening out there, like I can't say what the wave is for you, but guns is not it. You know what I'm saying? And I guess that's all we'll speak on that, man. Sad. NBC News. Sad. The thing about the news is it's all sad stuff. So that's what my man Ride P23 told me, like, yo, B, you shouldn't do about the news. And maybe he's right. And that's what I always told people. It's like, I don't watch the news. I don't read the newspaper because I don't want to even have that energy in my sphere. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's tough. Yeah, the internet here is mad slow. All right, here we go. We back. Next one. Westfield woman charged in stabbing incident. Jamestown Post Journal. Westfield woman charged in stabbing incident. Westfield, a woman who reportedly stabbed a male and was later found hiding in a barn, is facing numerous charges. Chautauqua County Sheriff's deputies were called Tuesday around 5:30 a.m. to the town of Westfield for a report of an assault involving a knife. A man stated he had been stabbed by a 37-year-old Raquel A. Blanchard, who then reportedly fled the area. Damn, so they stabbing. What I could say in conjunction with the last one is that knives are good for like cutting kiwis. Do you know what I'm saying? But knives no good for stabbing. But it's the anger thing. It's the anger in this case. We'll find out what the reason is. Severity of the injury wasn't provided in a news release. Okay, but still, you get stabbed. It's no bueno. I mean, for your day, talking about like, what are we gonna do today? Like, yo, what you doing today, bro? Chilling. You know what I'm saying? I might get stabbed. I might get stabbed at 3 p.m. though. Blanchard, who was wanted on a warrant for 4th-degree criminal mischief, was taken into custody on charges of 3rd-degree assault, 3rd-degree menacing, and possession of a hypodermic instrument. That's it. That's the whole thing. There's nothing else. So we don't know why homie got stabbed up. It just doesn't sound good all across the board. I don't even know where this place is. Chautauqua County. Like, I don't even know where that is. But it's unfortunate that people are getting stabbed up. Boom. Next one. Let's see what this one's going to be. Hopefully it's not all going to be guns, like shootings and stabbings. Because right now first one was shootings, second one was stabbings. So let's see if we'll switch it up. Maybe it'd be good. Maybe it would be good to do like positive news. Damn, this shit has froze up my whole thing, yo. My whole thing is not even doing nothing, yo. I can't even. Oh, all right, let's get it. All right, next one. Pointer. The AP built a tool to help newsrooms in New York share news with each other. That's lame. I mean, it's not lame, but. Piers Morgan says Michael Aventi screamed sleazeball. Rips former, I don't know what this is, Fox News. There's always something happening, right? Fox News. Piers Morgan says Michael Avenatti screamed sleazeball. Rips former employer CNN. I don't even know what that even means. Former CNN host Piers Morgan bashed his ex-employer along with others in the media for previously celebrating Michael Avenatti, the disgraced former attorney for adult film actress Stormy Daniels, calling him a sleazeball in a Hannity interview Monday night. I mean, he just screamed sleazeball, and every time I saw this guy, he was popping up on CNN and MSNBC maybe 2 or 3 times a day. They were treating him like he was this extraordinary Superman-like savior who would come to the rescue the world from devastating Donald Trump. A New York jury found Avenatti 49 guilty on 3 counts, including extortion, wire fraud, and transmission of interstate communications with the intent to extort an apparel company, Nike. He would face up to 42 years in prison and did not testify in the case against him. Time again, Sean, they pumped this guy up on the airways as if he was something special, and then they said he's going to run for president. Really? Morgan said, this sleazeball was going to run for president. It was completely ridiculous at the time. Who the fuck are these people, yo? Yo, pause. I don't even know who these people are. There's so much energy. Just even reading it just got me hyped up. I think this is really what the news. This is what the news does. It's almost like its own sport, but it's like there's no dunks. There's no like rad, things that sports does where you're like, wow, man, look what the human people can do. This is like the opposite. It's like, yo, look what the human people can do, yo. What the fuck are they even talking about? What are they talking about, yo? I mean, it's like, yo, how many channels exist like this? That's really my question. Is how many CNN, Fox News, like, I don't even know, because I don't even know what this is. Like ESPN, ESPN2, and you got, NBC Sports, and you got this. Like, how many news channels exist? How much news is really being put out every single day versus like some other stuff? I really think it's like I'm gonna have to search positive news because that's the only thing that's gonna be exciting. This stuff is not exciting. It's like, nah, it's not the wave. You know what I'm saying? Like, and even if these videos like pop off, like, and if they get millions of views, it's like, man, I don't know. It's just not the wave. Like, I just don't feel it's the wave. Like, if it's never going to be positive, let's see if there's any positive news here. Bloomberg News dilemma: how to cover a boss seeking the presidency. Everybody wants to be the president. Leaning Tower of Dallas survives implosion to become internet sensation. All right, let's see what's that about. Leaning Tower of Dallas, except Tower of Dallas survives implosion to become internet sensation. The remains of the affiliated computer services building near downtown are expected to be brought down soon. The Leaning Tower of Dallas was still leading money, but expected to tumble before long. After Sunday's implosion of an 11-story tower on Haskell Avenue near downtown, Dallas failed to bring down the center of the structure. The lopsided landmark immediately became an internet sensation. As video of the partial collapse spread, people began posting pictures of themselves pretending to prop it up. So it's like the leaning tower of Pisa, and that's it. I don't know if you can see it. It's on the left side there. It's kind of like on the right what it used to look like, and on the left, that's what it looks like now. And okay, that's interesting. You know, it's gonna collapse eventually. Is that super cool? It's cool enough, I guess. It became an internet sensation. Local news attorney explains what's next after mother of missing Idaho. Small direct club turns up the heat on NBC News investigative report. Women's equality, women's history. The American Journalism projects $1 billion plan to save local news. Let's talk about that. Maybe that's right. Another huge newspaper chain just filed for Chapter 11, which means it's a good time to hear John Thornton's $1 billion venture philanthropy plan for U.S. news sites. America has local news crisis. The small and mid-sized papers that told their readers what was happening in their communities and held powerful people and institutions in those communities to account are shrinking or disappearing entirely. Today, for instance, McClatchy, the newspaper chain whose 30 properties include the Miami Herald, the paper that broke open the Jeffrey Epstein case, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. Company promises that it will continue to pursue our strategy of digital transformation. So basically, because of the way that the world is right now with the internet and all the information being right here, it's like those mid-sized papers, like your local community papers, they're not getting the same people buying ads, things that keep the paper afloat as far as financially. They don't have enough money coming in to continue to do it. It doesn't make business sense to do that. So another homie has a vision of saving them with some dollars, being like don't worry about the ads, like don't worry about that business structure. We're gonna hit you with some dollars because we need you. We need you to, like I said, hold people accountable, right? Because if the people on the top, people that are like of power and use that power for something that's negative for the earth, for the universe, then something needs to hold that accountable. And if that entity, that person or that company owns all the media outlets, then there's no media outlet to speak. Like there's nothing that will speak the voice of the people from that level, the ground level. It'll only speak from like some high up dollar level where it's like all created to like give you whatever vision, Big Brother, Matrix, like however you want to look at that. So that's interesting. I think I'm gonna look up positive news because I just want to see if this is something that I want to do. If positive news will bring me joy. Okay, positive. Oh, I typed in positive vibes. You see my energy's at positive news. Bow. Google. And then I went to news. Beautiful Mind, uncovering the hidden talents in neurodiversity. Okay, that doesn't sound interesting to me. Ryan Newman remains in serious condition after scary crash at Daytona 500. That's positive news. Children march for their rights in Scotland. Positive news. Let's check that out. What are the children marching for? Climate education added to national curriculum in Italy. More than 40. All right, children march for their rights in Scotland. There's the children marching. How they look. Scottish ministers have promised to enshrine children's rights into law. Kids marched to Holyrood to remind them of their pledge. On a chilly November morning, children from across Scotland traveled to Edinburgh to take over the Scottish Parliament and talk to ministers, or as 11-year-old Rory put it, we just kind of snatched MSPs and said, listen to us. The friendly takeover was timed to mark the 30th anniversary of the United Nations Convention on the Rights of the Child, which acknowledges that every child has the right to life, the right to their own identity, and the right to express opinions and have them heard. That's it right there. I mean, what else do you even need to say? Who's gonna take away those rights? Why were they marching? Why did they need to march? You know? Let's among those marching were members of the Children's Parliament, a charity that gives children from all backgrounds opportunity to share the experience of growing up in Scotland to influence positive change in their homes. Majority of the children we work with in our programs, projects, and consultations are referred by teachers, social workers, or youth workers. It's wonderful to see the penny drop when children realize they are valued and respected. Members of the Children's Parliament are encouraged to examine various social issues through the lens of storytelling and play and present their findings to the relevant decision makers. Yo, whatever, I even forgot what the three things were, but they were undeniable. Like anytime you can give energy like to the voice of a child doesn't know what the news is. A child doesn't know what the child doesn't have those things that adults the downloads, right? The child is pure. So you can hear the voice of the pure, you get pure energy, you get pure insight, you get pure wisdom. Do you know what I'm saying? I think if anything people respect and people want to listen to people that are authentic, like they're real people. Like you can say whatever you want about Kanye, like you can have any opinions you want because that's your right to have that, or you can have that. But it's like my man speaks from his head. Like he's speaking from his own heart, whatever that is. And that changes through time, but it's a purity when he speaks. A lot of people, there's a purity when they speak. So the child, if you can always stay in touch with your inner child, what makes you, like I was watching a video, I was FaceTime with my daughter this morning, and it was like, she's playing. I said, Rainsy, you having fun, Rainsy? And it's like, of course she's having fun. She's 20 months old, 21 months old. Like the only thing that she knows is having fun. There's nothing else. And if she's not having fun, there's something wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like she's gonna cry. She's gonna be uncomfortable. She'll let you know, even though she's 20 months and she doesn't speak, as many words. Like she'll let you know. She'll make noises to let you know straight away. I'm not having. So it's like fun should be the actual natural state of a person. I think people should always, like, if you can be in that state, that's when like people want to be around your energy, or sometimes you feel certain people and you're like, yo, that person makes me feel good, because that person is like a battery, or that person is like a antenna, or whatever, however you want to put it. It's like that person is vibrating and pulsating energy, and it's good. You know what I mean? It's like, when I come here to YouTube, first thing I do is I say what's up to the homies, and then I get a small hot chocolate from the machine, right? What I do is I pour out a little of the hot chocolate, and I grab some almond milk, and I fill it with almond milk. So it's like it's not so hot now. It's like a medium hot chocolate with some almond milk. It's smooth. You know what I mean? That puts me in a smooth vibe. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the more we can smooth vibe our lives, and just the more we can just be in that smooth vibe, like all the time, just vibing like smooth, like, you know what I'm saying? Just got the moves and the sway, like. It's a win for everybody. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. The positive news, regular news. It's all a bit much to read all of it. I think it's cool clips, and it's good to talk about with other people. But I find it now in the second day doing it, like still rad. You know what I mean? But I think music news probably for me is probably the easiest thing to read and talk about, because it's like, I love music. So it's like, I'm going to type in music news. I'm going to go to news. First one, Wired. Streaming music doesn't flow, it evaporates. That's a trippy title. kudos to whoever thought about that type title. Listening to streams tunes through a smart speaker squeezes the ecstasy out of the experience. There are ways to get it back. Alexa has no knack for pianissimo. Here's how to tell. Set her living room volume and ask her to play Berlioz' rapturous epic of sex and opioids, Symphony Fantastique. The opening passages should be erotic and featherlight, but on the echo, the massive orchestra comes through as the smothered wishes, the exaltations of a pint-sized table fan caked in dust. Yo, pause. I'm not going to read the rest of this article, but I'm just going to say that if you take that speaker, right, and put it at that same, what they call it, Siri, the same Siri level, that doesn't diminish the music in any way, because I'll take that speaker and put it to my ear, B. You know what I mean? And hopefully we have two of them. We're gonna take both of them, attach it to my ear, right? And it's like it's for me to have the experience. That's my choice. You know, I control the volume. You know, Siri, like, what does that even mean? Do you know what I'm saying? Like, music is for you. Music doesn't evaporate. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, you evaporate. Like, we all evaporate back into the earth, from the earth into the universe, the cosmos, stardust. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's everything. Like, everything is, it's all magic, man. This is all like straight illusions. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, the perspective is so much perspective. You know what I mean? Music is joy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's love. Like, if Black Sabbath plays in the background and I just listen to Black Sabbath as elevator music, you know, that's my choice. You know what I'm saying? Does that diminish Black Sabbath? Nah, man, that's Black Sabbath for life, B. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, Snowblind, like, I could listen to it like as Muzak and not even be paying attention to it, but it's like I want to listen to Snowblind, B. I'm pow, like, let's go, we getting it, like Snowblind. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, you know, that's an interesting article and perspective. Next one, The Guardian. Andrew Weatherall, lone swordsman who cut new shapes for British music. All right, check this dude. From producing dub symphonies or DJing ferocious techno to never losing his insatiable music curiosity, Weatherall was a truly inspirational figure. Now we talking about positive things. You heard the word inspirational figure? Yo, you can't beat that. There was a point quite early on in Andrew Weatherall's career when vast commercial success appeared to beckon him. Already an acclaimed DJ and remixer, his production work on Primal Scream's 1991 album Screamadelica had helped turn a middling indie act whose career had given every appearance of being in its terminal phase into an award-winning, multi-million selling band suddenly at the cutting edge, the epitome of the fruitful interface between rock music and the post-acid house dance scene. I think I seen a documentary on Primal Scream. I think I did, and they had the dope album cover. I think it was like red and yellow. Others had worked on the album, including The Orb and veteran Rolling Stones producer Jimmy Miller, but it was Weatherall who had spotted Primal Scream's potential to become something more than they were. He had penned an enthusiastic review of the band for The Enemy under the pseudonym Audrey Witherspoon. Turned an overlooked 1989 album track called I'm Losing More Than I'll Ever Have into Loaded and propelled the band to the top of the pops. There were moments when John's Screamadelica sounded more like his creation than the band's. If he could do this for Primal Scream, when the not unreasonable thinking, what other remarkable transformations could he pull off? All right, it's my man. I think it's just inspirational. You know, there's a bigger story here than this whole article even, and you know, it's the story of my man's. So, like, if you can, like, the most important thing is to have fun while you're here, while you're doing it now, and that's why you create things, and that's what inspires people. You know, it's not about leaving something behind. It's not about, like, yeah, they're gonna talk about me, like I'm gonna be a legend when I go. Like, it's not about that. It's about the joy of now. You know what I'm saying? Creating now. So my man definitely had a vision, musically, orally, and created it, and people vibed with it because it was dope. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, so that's inspirational. You know, you always wanna be dope and create things that are dope. You know, if that's your wave. You know, that's my personal wave. Let's see what else we got. You can now add your Apple Music Replay 2020 playlist with the most played songs. Nah. The Haunt, legendary Ithaca Music Club, may be on the move. Well, that's regional. The Academy of Music anniversary concert hiatus spells the end of tradition. The Philadelphia Inquirer. Last week, the announcement that the Philadelphia Academy of Music's annual concert and ball will go on hiatus after, at least for next year, makes clear that Philadelphia faces a crisis of history and tradition. While history and tradition may seem unimportant to some, to many old Philadelphians like myself, it is of the utmost importance. My fifth great uncle, Napoleon Lebrun, was one of the visionary architects responsible for the construction of the Philadelphia Academy of Music from 1855 to 1857. The Philadelphia Academy is the oldest opera house in the United States and has hosted a number of talented groups, including Pennsylvania Ballet, Opera Philadelphia, and the Philadelphia Orchestra. Let's just say this: just the years they dropped, 1855 to 1857. If you think about what the music business was back then, it was like, yo, like, until you had records, until you had vinyl records, or like they weren't even vinyl then, like until you had recordings that you could sell. The only thing that was monetizable for a musician, or like for music, was the performance of it. Do you know what I'm saying? And the payment of the individuals playing. Like the violinist was so dope. You know what I'm saying? Like the cellist, the flutist, the drummer. Like, do you know what I'm saying? The timpani. Like, everybody is reading music, right? Everything is written out to the utmost. You know what I'm saying? Crescendos and like repeats, and like the art of music back then was like how we live now. And it's cool, man. This is all contrast. You know, how we live now is like, if you're a basketball player and you can dunk and you can play in the NBA, like that's like, yo, like people dream of that. You know what I'm saying? And to do that, you need the talent, you know, and then the work ethic, the drive, you know, to do that. And then you can do that. You know what I'm saying? The same thing with music. Back in the days was like, if you want to do music, it was like, yo, B, like that's it. Like, you locked. My uncle said, if you want to learn how to read music, read a pound of music a day. A pound. You know what I'm saying? That's a lot of music. You know, so it's like when we think about like how we read here, like homies was reading like, oh yeah, blah, 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 like instantly. There's no thinking of it. So like the tradition of things, you know, is that when the old wave fades away or diminishes in its commerciality, or it's like across the boardness, then it is sad to those that have appreciated that. You know, I'm definitely beneficial because I came up growing up in Brooklyn, like, you know, in the public school system. Like, I got to play the saxophone in 3rd grade. You know what I'm saying? So like at the age of 9, I was already reading music and playing music. So, and my grandfather used to take me to like all my grandfather listened to, like in the Bronx, was like, all he listened to was classical music. That's it. That's all he listened to was classical music. There's a piano in the house, you know what I'm saying? And so he would take me to like classical, you know, these type of things where it's like, so I got to do that in New York, like across the street from Irving Plaza. I went to see a lot of concerts there, you know, and at the time it was like, yeah, it's cool. Like if you listening, you're like dun 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 dun, you hear like the classic stuff, you're like, oh yeah, I recognize that. But like in the grand scope, it's hard to like really take that all in. But it's like when you really get into the music and like the love of music and like the lifeness of music, it's like, yo, these things is like, it's large, B. When you have somebody that's like dedicated their life to music, right? It's outside of the music business, and what maybe in this country is like, you know, you want to be like, you want to win a Grammy, or like you want to have the #1 album, or you want to have the #1 song. You want everybody to be loving you. You want to play huge concerts all over, like, you know what I mean? Like it's all rad. It's all rad, and it's a different shade of it. You know what I'm saying? But you can do those things without really the essence of music. It could be just pure few. Yo, that beat's hot. Like, let me rap on it, and like what you rap or what you sing on it, like freestyles, like different whatever. It's like so dope, right? And this is a different type of thing with music, where it's like root third fifth. You know what I'm saying? Like to know the difference between a minor chord and a major chord. Like the simpleness of the minor chord and the major chord being just the third. You flat the third. You know what I'm saying? Like I had to go to music conservatory for that. You know, like that's what life presented itself for me. Was like, yo, but it's like, yo, how dope is that? It's like now I know that. You know what I'm saying? Like I always knew how to play a major chord, right? When you play guitar, guitar being like main instrument, when you play guitar, it's like you learn open chords. You got your G's, you got your D's, you got your, E major. You know what I'm saying? And it's so dope. Like, and you know, like, okay, well, this is an E minor. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a D minor. Like, you know that it's a minor, right? And you know that chord. So if like you're playing a song, it's like, yo, D minor. But it's like, do you really know like why it's changing, or you just know the hand positions and you playing the hand positions, right? Because that's how I was living. Like I love music and I love and it's just like, but I was just playing hand positions. It wasn't so like I really started to get down into music and be like, okay, like the theory of music, like the reading of music, like understanding the intervals, like somewhere over the rainbow, like that interval is like that's that interval. You know what I'm saying? Like every interval is different, and like fifths, like how it's parallel. Like the fifth doesn't care if it's a major or a minor or what the seventh is or the fifth doesn't care. Like the fifth is the fifth. Unless you flat the fifth or you doing anything like that, like the fifth is the fifth, and the fifth is like the fifth. This is for music heads, but like the fifth, the fifth in music, it's like you have your root, right? And then you got your harmony, right? People love harmony. I love Alice in Chains. I love Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Like the harmonies is crazy, right? But there's a reason why. It's because like as people like there's vibrations that feel good and there's vibrations that are dissonant, right? When you back in the days, like the tritone being like the flatted fifth. Like the tritone was like the well, I don't even know if it's a flatted fifth. See, I gotta brush back up. I gotta pick up the guitar to really tell you what it is. I think it's a flatted fifth though. But it's like back in the days, it was like, I'm talking about back in the days, like it's the way back, 1100s, 1200s, 1300s. Like back in the days, like you couldn't play that note because that was the devil's note. You know what I mean? And like because people knew and they felt it, they were like, ooh, that made you feel like this. Versus if you play like a chord like Under the Sea or like some Disney song, it's like it's so positive, it feels so positive, the vibrations are there, and you're dealing with harmonies. The fifth is like always there with you. You got your third, you major third, you flat your third, you get different energy, you throw your seventh, and then you get into jazz, you start dealing with like extensions and be like, yo, this is the 9 or it's the 11, like, oh, it's the sharp 11. Like, what does that mean? What does the sharp 11 mean in like music? Like, do you need to know that? It's like, yo, check out this chord, it makes me feel like this, dope, let's use it. You know what I'm saying? But if you do know what the sharp 11 is, and you do understand what it is, it's way up high. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's the 11th, but it's sharp. You know what I'm saying? Like what is a second in a chord? Like what is a ninth? Like a ninth is a second. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just higher. So you're dealing with like sharps, 11s, 13s. It's like you're going way high up. So when you're dealing with the sounds of up and down, it's a much broader space as far as the energy of how it sounds and how it makes you feel. But if you take that same note that's up there, if you take that 9 and you bring it to a 2, so it's right near the root, you get to something that's like sounds like more like it's more cluttered. It's way closer. You don't have that space. Anyways, we zoned out on music. I love music, so it's like I could talk about music for a long time. We're about to wrap this up in a minute. I've been watching a lot of I feel like with YouTube now, people are creating things based on what they like. Back like we were talking about the hustle, like they're creating things based on what they like because it makes them happy and other people like it. And then, so I was watching these videos on like the history of Contra or the history of the Ninja Turtles video game, the history of like Rolling Thunder video game, like the history of all these different video games, Double Dragon, do you know what I'm saying? Pit Fighter. Video games is definitely a wave. You know what I'm saying? I always respect video games and the OG ones and the new G ones. All right, let's do one more and then we're going to be out of here. Okay. Musical notes. Scorsese, Madonna, and the awfulness of millennium pop. Now that's very charged right there. Right? That's very charged. The Guardian. Musical notes. Scorsese, Madonna, and the awfulness of millennium pop. So we got to see what they're saying. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is charged. We got to see what they're saying. In our new monthly roundup of our music critics' musings, we explore a forgotten corner of middle-class pop, post-Britpop angst, and a book that argues for pop's intrinsic magic. Inside a subversive history of music, Alexis Pedridis, chief rock and pop critic. It was pure coincidence that I found myself reading Ted Gioia's Music, a Subversive History, when I heard about the launch of the first full-service record label built on AI music discovery. All right, that's trippy. But the two fitted together perfectly. Gioia is an American musician and author. In the past, he's written a series of acclaimed books about jazz, but music, subversive history, blah, blah, blah. In terms of scope, we'll put it this way. It starts out talking about a bear's thigh bone that Neanderthal hunters apparently turned into a primitive flute somewhere between 43,000 and 82,000 years ago, and ends up 450 pages later discussing K-pop and EDM. That's rad. Yo, shout out to humans for loving music. You know what I mean? That homie said that a Neanderthal hunter apparently turned a primitive flute with the thigh bone, a bear's thigh bone. So a hunter back in the days, in the caveman era, saw a thigh bone, and somewhere in his vibes. See, this was a visionary. It was a visionary cat, and nobody will ever know his cat's name. Cat might even had a name. We might not have even had names at that point. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? But my man somehow had the vision, had heard probably like through the leaves in the early morning. Like, he felt the vibes and heard the sounds of the wind whistling, and he just knew that he could make an instrument somehow by hollowing something out and like putting holes in it and covering the holes, which will change the wind. You know how it goes through the thing. And then my man had the skills and like went through it like while he was in the cave with all the other cave homies, and they were all watching him like, yo, what are you doing? And he was like, yo, I got this vision. Check it out. Blah, blah, blah. And then played it. And then we got into K-pop and EDM, 82,000 years ago, 82,000 years later. Let's pause for a second. In 82,000 years, we as human beings, right, not the earth, because the earth is just, we're talking about blips. But in 82,000 years, we took the first flute made from a bear's thigh bone and went all the way to electronic dance music. In 82,000 years from now, imagine what it will be like, right? It seems like unimaginable, like you could never jump that far. So being that that's like so large a jump, we say like, wow, how can we do that? Doobiedukesims, how do we do that? I don't know. That's for you to imagine. But now instead of 82,000 years, let's go 8,000 years. What will it be like in 8,000 years? It doesn't feel like it's still imaginable. Do you know what I'm saying? Like 8,000 or 82,000, we don't know. But if you think about what things were like 1,000 years ago, right? It was like, we're in 2020 right now. We're talking about 1020, right? It definitely had a wave. I think there is information. I'm sure if you Wikipedia, let's take out Wikipedia. If we Wikipedia'd what life was like in 1020, you know what I'm saying? Let's look up the year. The year 1020. Events in the year 1020. 1020 was a leap year starting on Friday. See, they already know. Of the Julian calendar. And in 1020, events that happened were summer. Emperor Henry II conducts his third Italian military campaign. He makes plans to invade the south, but remains non-committal. June 15th, Byzantine troops under Catapan Basil Bioenus, supported by his ally Prince Pandulf, capture the fortress of Troya. The French city of Saint-Germain-en-Laye is founded by King Robert. King Canute the Great codifies the laws of England. King Gajik of Armenia is succeeded by Havanes Sambat III. Yo, that's what was going down in the year 1020. So now we're in the year 2020, and that almost was like, what did that even mean? There was kings and homies was locking things down, and definitely there was still like conquering and stuff, right? In the year 3020, what will life be like? All right, so that doesn't seem like it's so crazy in the future, right? Like 82,000 years, what it will be like, or 8,000 years. It's like, who knows? But if you think about in 1,000 years what we did, like we already was rocking. You know, we was already doing stuff. We had names, we had kings and all that type of stuff. 10, 20, 1,000 years is like nothing. That's just like a blip. So you know what I mean? Like my vision is always about compassion and love. You know what I'm saying? I just got 100% faith in knowing. And I always say these type of things. It's like, yo, like I'm telling you, be like, it's not gonna be like, be like, yo, what do you think about this political thing or this, like, blah blah blah. It's like, be like, that's silliness. Like we talking about the earth. You know what I mean? Like this is Allen Iverson. You know, we talking about practice. Like we talking about the earth. Like the earth doesn't care about any of these things. You know what I mean? Like we 100% as people are gonna evolve. I remember growing up in Brooklyn. It's like I used to go to school. My parents gave me like brought me up with like health food from the get go. You know what I'm saying? So back in the days, I was already drinking soy milk. You know, I had rice cakes and like you know what I'm saying, like nutritional yeast. You know what I'm saying? Like, all types of things that homies growing up where I grew up in Bensonhurst, which is mostly Italians and like you know what I mean, like what you would know is like kind of like mob land or like this was the time I grew up and was like homies wasn't coming to school with soy milk. But I used to go to school and I would roll with soy milk and I would roll with like carob rice cakes and like it's like you know what I'm saying? But it's like now we look at things and it's like, yo, we got oat milk, we got almond milk, we got soy milk, we got hemp milk. And it's not just do we have those things, it's like we got almond milk, we got unsweetened almond milk, we got chocolate milk, almond chocolate milk, we got unsweetened almond chocolate milk. Hemp chocolate milk. It's like, yo, B, who doesn't want hemp chocolate milk? Do you know what I'm saying? So like I know as people like it's like a lot of things that we look at now is gonna seem silly. It's gonna seem silly in 1,000 years. We'll look back and be like, what were they doing in the year 2020? It's like then we'll look at it the same way we just read what was going on with these people in the year 1020. It's like, who are these people? Like how are they remembered? Do you know what I'm saying? Like what, like in the grand scope of like humans, how will we be remembered, or what will happen? It's like as long as we always just live positive and spread the love, it's like the next 1,000 years, we talking about 30, 20, it's gonna be a party, yo. I'm telling you, it's gonna be nothing but fun, like awesome, like it's gonna be so rad. I don't believe that aliens are gonna come and then they're gonna like take us over and like, it's like the computers, the AIs will take us over like the Matrix. It's like everything comes out in the wash. You know what I'm saying? Like we spread the love and create from positivity and create only that vibration coming out of our essence. It's like, yo, B, it's all wins. It's all wins. Teamwork makes the dream work. Do you know what I'm saying? Like we all a team. Like I'm a team with the with the earth. You know what I'm saying? Like earth is my homie. And I'm a team with the universe. You know what I'm saying? Like the more you get open to it, it's like, yo, like whatever you put out, that's what you're gonna get back. Because you have a teammate and it's the universe. And the universe is totally down. Yo, give me the ball, yo, I'm open. Like you ever play basketball? We're gonna wrap this up. You ever play basketball? I grew up playing basketball in the street, so it's like or street basketball, it's like you don't know these people. Like you just roll up on like you do it right now. You just roll up on the court, yo, I got next, like throw me down, like boom. So we playing like if I'm open, I say, yo, pass me the ball. Like, homie might not know me. He'd be like, oh, I don't know if you can shoot. Like, I'm open. Like, boom, pass you the ball. If you're open, homie, pass you the ball and you shoot and you get it in. Next time you ask for the pass, more likely you're going to get it. And then once people know on the court, oh, he's a shooter. Oh, he's a scorer. Like, yo, pass me the ball. It's already there. Like, you open, I got you. That's what point guards do. It's teamwork makes the dream work. The universe the same way. And the universe is like, yo, you say like, yo, pass me the ball. The universe is always going to pass you the ball. The universe is your homie. And it believes in you. You know what I mean? No matter what you put out, it believes in you. It's going to give you that. Do you know what I'm saying? As always, doobiedukesims, spreading love. I'm out here right now, New York City, Manhattan, spreading the positive vibes, always creating some rad art. I got this new vibe. It's like muscly wrestler dudes, like all silhouetted out. I'm doing it on pink right now. I'm gonna put it up soon. And I got some ladies with all like the silhouettes with the butts and titties. You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna put it on some clothing and mix them up. I'm gonna mix up the colors. I've been making things, you know what I'm saying, with like whites and colors and blacks and colors on prints on vintage. I could do a lot of thrifting on vintage things I find from the thrift store. Creating waves. I have a studio in Williamsburg, the Willie B Labs. Follow on the IG at Willie B Labs. It's really it's the spot, you know what I'm saying, to create. And I've been creating a lot of fashion stuff and having a rad time doing it, you know what I'm saying, because I love art, because I'm an artist. Peace. Doobiedukesims. Keep spreading the love every day in your life, you know, for yourself and the people around you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta. It starts with you first. That's the thing about it. You gotta get yourself right. Once you get yourself right, you can spread the love to all the people, man. And the more you spread love to the people, the more people spread love to you, and more people want to be around your energy. And you know, you can choose that, but it's beneficial for you, for you, for the community, and for the earth. Peace.